With so many cards coming out in Dawn of Majesty, guys, cards like Swordmaster of the Bewitching Iris really are interesting, but more so, Dawn of Majesty really looks like it's going to be a meta impact, or at least give us a lot of different cards with a lot of new capabilities that we haven't quite seen before, and this is definitely one of those cards, so let's look into it. It is a level 8 light spellcaster effect monster with 2500 attack and 2500 defense, which will matter, but we'll get into that. The first effect says during the main phase, if a monster whose effects are negated is on the field, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. The second effect says if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, you can activate one of these effects based on where they were special summoned from. If it was special from the hand, you can special summon one monster from your hand. If they specialed from the deck, you can draw 2 cards. And if it's special from the extra deck, you can destroy one of those monsters special summoned from the extra deck. Now, why is this card good, you may ask? First and foremost, the first effect actually requires a negated monster to just be on the field. So therefore, if you're playing Dogmatica and you're playing a card like Floor, then this card can special summon itself and maybe some other cards inside of your hand. Maybe you're playing Dogmatica mixed with some other stuff and you need the extra monsters on the board. That's really just up in the air, and it's really, really random. But the second part I wanted to say on that point is that if you Imperm, if you Veiler, if you Dark Ruler, if you Forbidden Droplets, if you Breakthrough Skill, if you Lost One, I could go all the way down the list of all the cards that negate. The simple part of this card that you may not have grasped the first time you read it is that all you have to do is have a negated monster on the field. It doesn't even say on your opponent's side of the field. It can also be on yours, which is also very, very interesting. But making sure that this card can special summon itself after a Dark Ruler is really, really interesting, because that means that automatically you can use it going second in tandem with other cards, whether that be Dark Ruler and Droplets themselves or inside of another archetype like Dogmatica, as I said before. The second reason why I think this is good is that she's really, really big. She's actually, and I'm just assuming gender here, don't shoot the messenger, but she's 2500, and she's a level 8. So that means extension inside of decks that may need a level 8, she'll be really, really free, and it'll come out onto the field and actually replace itself a little bit, especially if they special summon from the deck. But also, if they special summon the extra deck, you get to take something away from them. If they, and if you've Dark Ruler no more already, then that means that you're going to pretty much crack them if they were to do anything else. So in dealing with a card that may be like Hieratic Seals, the link to that is 0/0, it literally may come down to a card like that, and them being able to all but special summon out of the deck, and then you being able to bring this card out. It's just really, really interesting. But, that may be different when those months come around. In the chain of an actual effect, and then be able to draw 2 at resolution, it's Phantasma-ish, but that's actually almost, I wouldn't say better than Phantasma, but definitely just as good, but maybe a tad bit situational. That's just calling the card what it is. But the fact that it's a level 8 definitely matters. And some other points, and shout out to Josh Rikus, the homie that is on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube page, The Owl's Nest on Facebook. Make sure you join it. He also talked a bit about that this card is a Gizmek Uka, the Festive Fox target, which is not necessarily a card inside of the metagame, but you can 100% special summon this card out of your deck because it's 2500 and 2500, meaning its attack and defense actually equal to each other, which means that you can special summon that card out of the deck. Long story short, guys, I really do feel like this card is going to be very, very interesting, and at minimum a future tech card, but that remains to be seen because, well, the metagame could shift at any moment. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I am out. YG baby, Pegasus out. I'm out of here. See ya.